Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 47 of Red Dirt and Stardust, a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition Western and pirate science fantasy campaign. So, where we last left off, the group made their way over to Stag Chapel, a small little village in the middle of the woods with a little white church on the hill that seemed to be a hunting town that also grew pumpkins and gourds and other things like that. They heard about a ghost that was haunting a local mill and decided to investigate while they were in town, despite the protestation of some of the group members. They went and ended up finding a few interesting things that they kept for themselves, along with the ghost, who hurled ethereal axes and logs from the lumber mill into the party members, but they all managed to defeat the ghost. They took the cursed axe that fell from the ghost's body before it disappeared back to the lodge, where the tavern keeper revealed that this ghost was, in fact, his uncle, and that his uncle can now get rest forever. Except Chauncey convinced the barkeep to let them keep the cursed axe, put it in his bag, and the group went upstairs to have a restful slumber. And we begin as the morning dawns. You all wake up probably pretty late in the morning since you all got back around 1:30 in the morning. So it's probably pretty late, maybe about 9 or 10 a.m. Um, what would you all like to do?
So remind me, did Aiden get put into a separate room when we went to bed?
I
Like he went
honestly
to
do not
Lyla's
remember.
room, I think. At
Yeah.
any rate, the point is Aiden's probably looking for Chauncey when he wakes up. It was a rough night. He had a good sleep, and now he's just excited to see friends and also bacon, like wherever that is.
Ah, yes. They are
Chauncey, Mr.
serving
Chauncey, good
bacon
morning.
downstairs, along with other breakfast items. So I forget everybody's sleeping arrangements. I think you got two or three rooms. I don't quite remember. I didn't write that down.
I
Yeah.
thought there was room for each of us.
Oh, that might have been it. Yeah. So you all have your own rooms. That alleviates a lot of
Yeah.
choices to be made.
So, I mean, yep, Aiden probably like woke up early. He's like banging on Chauncey's to like making sure everybody's up. What are we doing today? Where are we going? Who are we gonna see? He's excited to be alive again.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry. I'm just taking a second here to reorganize something.
Hmm.
Aiden, Chauncey's gonna open the door. He doesn't look particularly great today, but it is what it is. He's like, oh, is it morning already? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been morning since the sun got up.
Oh, I didn't even see it rise.
Mhm.
I'll meet you downstairs in a minute, okay?
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna eat all the bacon before you get there. And he like runs.
Chauncey's gonna turn around and he's very obviously not slept at all overnight. And there's the cursed axe is sitting on a table in his room. And he's just like, ah, shit.
Oh yeah. Kiddo kind of forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's the problem. But he's gonna get himself packed up and cleaned up as best as he can before heading downstairs. Because, like, it's Aiden. You can't be mad at him or anything. And he didn't know.
Hmm. So I'm assuming you all gather downstairs and have a nice hearty breakfast. Um, there's sausage, there's probably grits. This seems like the type of place that would have grits. Um, yeah, not the greatest or most flavorful ones, more of just, a hearty meal to get you filled up before working in the fields, picking zucchinis and squash and pumpkins. Um, and
Aiden
yeah,
probably like plays with it, like eat, like with a spoon. Gross. It pushes it out of the way. No, thank you.
yeah, not the most flavorful breakfast, but certainly pretty hardy. Um, I'm assuming you also gather your horses and your carriage and get back on the road.
Here we go again.
All right. So once again, I'm going to need everybody to do some sort of check. If someone wants to roll for Adrien,
I've got his sheet up. Let's just take care of him real quick. Let's see. What has he got? Um, what about a history? He's particularly good at history. Does he know anything about this area? I don't know.
I would say it's been a bit too long since he's been in this area.
Maybe let's say an entertaining story, a historical recounting of I don't know, a great battle his dad told him about or some shit.
Sure. He'll be the in-flight entertainment.
I like that we're doing a history check for that, but you know what? Screw it. Oh, I can't roll dice on his thing. I forgot. Okay, hang on. Let me go over
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Okay, so that was an 11 plus, what is his thing? I think it's a plus 8. Yeah, so a 19.
Okay. So he recounts a fairly interesting, almost like Game of Thrones style conspiracy between the ruling houses of the city of Bats. It's really hard to follow, and there's a lot of assassinations of random people that just haven't showed up until they got assassinated. But
Plus also
it's
floppy dicks.
yeah, maybe one of them gets sliced off in an embarrassing rapier fight. But it happens. So you are regaled with a fairly interesting story, even if most of you are only paying about half as much attention. Um, but yeah,
Chauncey's full on snoring at one point. He dozes off in the middle of it because it's just, uh,
Well, he didn't sleep either, so
yeah.
very true. So what are the rest of you doing?
um hmm.
Jedidiah got a 26 for stealth.
All right.
Can
So
I
you all. Hmm?
oh mm-mm.
So yeah, you managed to find there's actually a few paths that seem to crisscross around. They are very well signposted, and you managed to find some little slightly overgrown paths that seem to be ones that maybe people might just walk instead of having a big old cart. You managed to trundle your way through them under the cover of foliage, and you pretty much managed to get along mostly unscathed. Maybe a few branches here and there to the face. But other than that, you get pretty far.
I need to restart my computer because it's not working very well.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
BRB.
see you in
All
a second.
right. I'll open the
Um,
participants tab.
yep.
Technical difficulties, they happen. All
Can
right.
I intimidate the road into being smooth? No. I
My
just
God.
realized for some reason, I don't know why, that's my absolute best skill. I have a plus 14.
Good Lord.
So I'm definitely going to make Aiden use it at some point because that's pretty great. Um, I don't know. Let's go for a perception.
All right.
That is a 21.
All right.
So
So
yeah,
yeah.
Aiden is like scouting. But he's very excited. So if he's pointing things out, he almost like maybe too much, like, oh, there's a squirrel, and there's a bump in the road up ahead, and oh, the squirrel got ate. Oh no, okay, you know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah. You do point out some very interesting things. The environment seems to change from forested mostly to mostly fielded. And you certainly point out windmills and cows and particularly interestingly shaped haystacks. And at one point you managed to spot a herd of buffalo, of which one of them has tiny little vestigial wings that are flapping on the top of its hump. Um, and he managed to point it out. And it takes a little bit for people to see it because they're so far away, but you just spotted it lickety split.
yep, he got good eyebrows.
All right. And so what's
Uh,
Chauncey doing while we wait for Jed to get back?
Let me think here. Are we riding in cart? Are we riding by cart or by?
Yes, you all are in a cart.
We're all in a cart. Okay, I think I will.
What kind of a
Um,
covered wagon that you were given by well, obviously it would be a covered wagon because sunlight.
I would, and so it's a covered wagon. And the what is it? The climate of Amarillo is just a lot hotter, right? And muggy and gross. What is it?
Um, I would say it is more humid, but I wouldn't say that it's more hot. Um,
Okay.
if anything, the cooler it feels hotter to you because um Gold Rush, the place where you live in Gold Rush is so high up mountains, but Gold Rush is technically hotter but drier.
Okay. So
Mm.
I'm going to, I think, use Tinker's tools to make little hand fans for everybody that just pinwheel fan to cool everybody off on the trip.
All right. Make me a tinkering check.
Okay.
I'm going to say because Chauncey has probably made a lot of toys that do things like this, it's not so much dexterity in fitting the pieces together as much as it is knowing how to put the pieces together. So I'd say intelligence.
Oh yeah. If we're using intelligence, I get plus 13, which on top of my 17 is 30.
All right.
Damn.
I will say with these fans, if you all keep them, if you make any checks against exhaustion because of heat, if you are using one, you get a +1 to your save,
Cool.
if you'd like to note that somewhere.
Just for comfort's sake.
Yes. It's not much of a bonus, but it's a bonus, and it's only against exhaustion due to heat, which you will not be facing here because it is not that hot here. But it's hot enough that you might want a fan. So, yeah, you all make your way down the road, trundling along, and it gets close to evening. Because you all left a little bit later than usual, you'd be getting into town a little bit later. Um, Aiden,
Yes.
while you all are trundling along an open road where there's only field on either side, the stars are beginning to come out. You're beginning to see the moon, but there's still a little bit of light in the sky, and you begin to see the lights on in the faraway town. You notice some things moving in the wheat. They are people shaped.
Okay. Hey, oh, no, maybe quiet. Hey, guys, there's things in the weeds. I don't know what it is. Yeah, look.
Do
Um,
we see them?
I'm gonna say make me a perception check with advantage because Aiden is specifically trying to point them out.
Cool. That's a 24.
Wait.
All right.
one's,
And then Chauncey.
Oh, and I guess,
Oh, Adrien can if Adrien wants to.
yeah, sure.
can I have Lovey May make the perception check, or should Chauncey
Yeah,
do it
you can make
himself?
it with Lovey
Okay.
May.
So if Lovey May makes the perception check, it's going to
Oh,
be a 19. No,
Okay.
sorry. She gets ×2 proficiency bonus, not ×1. Uh, it'll be a 23.
23.
Okay. And what did Adrien get?
He critted it.
Okay.
Nat
So
20.
yeah, with Aiden pointing them out, there are things, people-like figures moving in the wheat, actually on both sides of the road, and they seem to be somewhat keeping pace with the cart. The cart's probably not going very fast. You all aren't galloping down the road by any means. It's more of a normal travel speed to keep the horses, from tiring out. But they are attempting to hide in the wheat on either side of the road, but they haven't made a move yet.
Not good.
Do you think they might be bandits?
Uh, well, if they wanted to do anything nice for us, I don't think they'd be hiding. Um, it's nighttime, right?
It's about to be nighttime. I would
Okay.
say it's more of dusk.
Um, do we want do we want to send a message to them or
You mean like a letter?
I was thinking of just sort of lighting everything up so they can't hide.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a better idea. I think it'd probably take too long to write.
Probably.
Yeah.
Um, I will cast daylight over a good portion of them.
All right. Um, yeah, so you conjure this daylight. I forgot you had that spell.
Yeah,
Um,
Celestial Warlock, baby.
yep. Which side of the road are you hitting? Because
Whichever
daylight is
side
only,
looks like there's more people.
all right, we'll just say the right side of the road. You flick your hand over the right side of the road and it lights up.
I'll just like shout and try to be all scary, like, show yourselves.
All right, if you'd like to make an intimidation check, you may.
Cool.
Can Aiden also make an intimidation check?
With
You
a
know what?
plus 14,
I'll
sure.
take the other side, and he'll just like, yeah, what he said, and he'll like, I don't know, pick up a little rock and like throw it or something.
Sure.
Aiden has a
Uh,
plus 14 to intimidation.
Yeah, that's a 32.
Jesus.
so you pick up
Somehow that's a very scary rock throw. A
you pick up a
child.
rock and you bean it as hard as you can, and you hear in the wheat, "Ow, my eye!" As you beamed one of them in the eye.
Sorry.
Cool. Well, I got a 20 for
For what? Oh, intimidation?
Intimidation,
intimidation.
yeah.
That's still plenty scary.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I like
So
conjure some illusions on myself and like make myself look all spooky and fire it. And then I turn around, I'm like, oh, geez, what the fuck?
Like throwing shit.
a bunch of you see heads rise above the wheat as it's not the season for wheat to be fully grown. It's still a little bit green, but it's beginning to turn that sort of gold color. And they pop up, of course, on the left side, one of a very comically large man is holding a hand over his eye. You apparently beam that one directly in the eye. You see, it is a lot of humans, but three of them are actually of a form of rabbit folk that are kind of a little bit rare over in Gold Rush. Creatures called herringons. One of them is holding a crossbow, um, and they all kind of stand up. And one that looks like the leader draws his sword. You can tell he's definitely been intimidated. The other group members are kind of staying quiet. They're not moving towards you. They're not making any sort of advance. And he just keeps his sword out and, well, if you know what's good for you, hand over your gold as he
In
holds
Can
the
in
sword towards
can
in
I
the
you.
thing,
fireball them?
Chauncey's just injecting himself to cast haste on himself.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness. Okay.
Like a syringe of like liquid, gross gold steroids into the vein real quick.
All
Listen,
right.
you've got about 3 seconds before I incinerate all of you.
Oh, put the butter knife down.
He's actually going to make a wisdom check. Let me see. Where is his staff lot? There he is. Um, Still clearly very nervous, but kind of rallying a little bit. He actually does take a step forward and just, you got a lot of nice tricks, but We're still going to need that gold. And he puts a second hand on his sword. And the other, you do actually see the other bandits kind of looking around. One of them kind of looks and almost begins to duck back down into the wheat, and the person next to him like pulls him back up. They're still very nervous. Both of you have definitely scared them a lot, but they are contemplating combat.
Uh,
All right, I'm gonna fireball. Like,
All right.
I warned you, and I'm just gonna like snap, and I want my daylight to just like detonate. Like,
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say that um the captain and two of the humans and two of the Harengon are caught in your blast. So I'm going to do the bandit captain first. It's a dex saving throw.
it sure is.
All right.
DC
Bandit
18.
captain gets a 22.
I'm gonna
Let's do
heighten
the
that spell.
Yep.
bandit captain gets a 13.
Cool.
That's better.
Let's do the two bandits. That's a 5. That's a 19. Oh,
Silvery barbs.
no, actually, sorry, I forgot it was heightened. That's actually going to be an 8.
There you go.
And then one, I think I said one of the Haringons. We'll say it's that one. And that's going to be an 8. So I think all of them have failed.
Cool.
Um, so that means they take full damage. So that means that
They take 33 damage.
yeah, so that means two of the bandits are dead. The Harengon is dead.
Oh,
And the bandit captain is very much um very, very much wounded.
And Jed's gonna just like start floating just a tiny bit, like fire starts encircling his body. He's just laughing. Burn.
yeah.
All right.
He can do this like all day.
So I think at that point, the rest of them are going to turn tail and run.
can I shoot them?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Maybe
Who are you
So,
shooting? There is still the
uh,
bandit captain who's deeply wounded. There are two of the big guys, one of whom Aiden hit with a rock in the eye. Not enough to wound, but enough to intimidate that this child has very good aim and you don't know what he has up his sleeve. And then two of the rabbit people,
okay,
one of which is holding a crossbow.
I'm gonna shoot the big guy that I'm on the other side that didn't get fireballed, obviously. I'm gonna pull pistols or revolvers out. I'm gonna shoot let's do the big guy and hit in the eye. Let's see if we can get the other eye. That is a 24 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
That's gonna be 15 points of magical piercing damage.
Oof.
pew.
I'm gonna say because he's turning and running, it's very hard to hit him in the eye. I will say if you want to hit him again, I'll say if you want to hit the eye, you need a crit to hit the eye. Otherwise, you just shoot him in the face.
Wherever.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna scatter shot. I'm gonna shoot the Harengon with a crossbow. That is a 17 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
That one's gonna be taking 14 points of no, sorry, 15 points of magical piercing
Clean
damage.
shot straight through the head. It's dead.
Okay, and I'm gonna shoot the other big guy with my last hasted shot. 19, not a 20. Crap. So that is a 28 to hit.
That'll hit him.
Um, that's only 13 points of piercing damage on him.
All right. So, yep, the rest of them are going to use, unless anybody else has something else they want to do, the rest of them are going to turn tail and run.
Is the leader still there?
The leader is still alive, but after being fireballed and seeing like a good chunk of his men dead, he decided to turn tail and run.
Cool. Um, Is there anyone standing like next to him?
Let me see his speed. Um, I'm gonna say there's probably a person within 10 feet of him, but not
Okay,
closer.
well then never mind on that spell. But I'm just gonna look at him like, oh no, running's not an option anymore. I'm gonna do a scorching ray.
All right. And I'm assuming you're hitting him with all three bolts.
Yeah.
Cool. Shoot.
Okay, the first is a 22 to hit,
That'll hit.
the second a 28 to hit,
That'll hit.
and the third is a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay.
These are like low level bandits. They're not hard to hit.
He takes 32 fire damage.
Oh, he is limping away from that. He is nearly dead, but
Quick
he
and
is
spell a
alive.
firebolt.
All right. If you hit him, you kill him. He has one hit point left.
Like,
That's a
dang.
25 to hit.
That is a clean shot, and he goes down in the wheat field completely dead. The rest of them, I'm gonna say because you've all had your turns, they dash 60 feet away. I think the Haringons go a little bit. No, surprisingly, the Haringons do not go a bit faster, which is stupid. But they all keep running. It's very clear that they intend on running as fast as they can, as far as they can away. Um,
Jed exhales and just like smoke comes out of his nose.
Those guys are kind of
Well,
It would have been better if we got all of them.
yeah.
Maybe they'll tell their friends.
Maybe they have anything. Maybe they got some money in their pockets.
I mean, again, we're like
Yeah, they were trying to rob us, so
we are like super rich. So
well, gold or two here and there never hurts. Do they have any? I'll go loot the ones that we managed to kill.
you find nothing on them but mundane weapons and maybe a bit of copper and some trail rations. Maybe you find yourself a free cooking pot.
Cool.
There is nothing on there.
Anybody want some trail mix?
Can I
Complete with
investigate?
M&Ms.
Kind of singed a little bit.
yeah,
Can I investigate the Harengon's body and how soft is its?
Oh no,
Is rabbit on the menu?
How dark of a path did I set Chauncey on?
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, so yes, you may poke and prod and stab the Harengon corpse. Make me a medicine check.
Okay. Oh. Well, that fell in. I'm gonna actually roll it. Okay, not that much better than when it fell in. Medicine is it's only I only got a 13.
Okay, I mean that's probably enough. You're just checking to see if the meat is like rabbit.
Oh no, I'm not checking the meat. I'm checking
Oh,
the fur, the pelt.
oh, I thought you were like just slicing him open and going, is this like rabbit? Can we braise it? Lovely. Can we braise it with some wine?
No, no,
Jed walks
no.
back over, like popping some trail mix in his mouth. He's like, oh yeah, it's not. Jesus crap! All right, all
The
right.
fur is very much like rabbit fur. It's a tiny bit coarser because it's growing on a humanoid and not on a fluffy little cute huggable bunny. Um,
I
but
mean, Chauncey's
This
just like,
is where we're at now.
oh God, yeah. Can Chauncey make a check to skin the Harengon, please?
oh Christ!
make me
Why?
either survival or medicine.
In front of the
Yeah,
child.
I
Put
think
in the
Jed like
child.
walks over to Aiden and just like grabs his head and like turns it the other way.
Why?
I'm gonna
Oh
have
my
Lovey
God.
May assist me
Okay.
for the help action.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna throw a guidance on the check because YOLO.
This is
Aiden, there's like
dark.
raisins and some chocolate bits in this trail mix. Do you want the rest of it?
27 or 17, not 27.
17. I'm gonna say that you kind of mess up the feet. The feet aren't quite right, so you have 75% of a herringon pelt. This is what we've become.
Why?
We're the good guys.
Do you know how many stuffed animals you could make out of that?
God, some child is going to be playing with some poor herringon's
No,
flesh.
no, I don't. Because I've never skinned a thinking
I
person.
can't say the thought has crossed my mind before, but
I mean, so many things are made with rabbit fur. It can't be that different.
yeah, yeah.
I think maybe Aiden needs to take a nap, like right at just this very moment. So maybe, like somebody who doesn't quite give as much of a shit about humans dying in front of them. We'll just go back to Valakar for a second. Like
Yeah.
he comes out
Hey,
like, oh,
Valagar.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest, even for me, that's
Yeah, this is a little much. This is
still a little bit much. Yeah.
I am a little worried, to be honest.
The fuck happened after I passed out last night?
Nothing. Nothing. We just had a
At
talk.
this moment, you see walking along the road is a man. He's holding a lantern. He
Chauncey, get your shit together, Chauncey. I'm prestidigitate you all the blood off your hands.
my God, yeah.
There's not enough
He
prestidigitation in
has
the
a
world to get the blood off my hands.
Foul spot won't you wash from mine hands?
oh my God. He's walking on. He has a walking stick and a lantern, and he just, y'all
A
right out
minor
there?
illusion, like some dirt over the Haragon corpse. Oh, mold earth over some dirt over it.
He is like lightly jogging along the road. Y'all all right out there?
I put my Virgil disguise back on him. Oh my heavens, sir! Thank goodness you're here. We were just attacked by his group of bandits. We managed to fend some off for ourselves, but I think it was they saw your light coming by and they got spooked off.
Well,
Yep.
I'm not surprised with some of the strange goings on around here lately, but
Strange goings on.
yeah, a lot of old ghosts are getting all riled up lately. I don't know why. Various towns of old things crawling out of the graves and going bump in the night.
Hmm.
In fact, I'm heading over to, oh God, I forgot the name of the town. I'm going over to Serenity Rock right now, just right up the road to check on my nieces and nephews, um, and see how they're doing and see what's going on here.
It's wait, above game. That's where that where we just were. That's where we just were.
No, that was Stag Chapel. You all are
Oh,
heading to Serenity Rock and then Broken Branch, Coyote's Cliff, and then Bad Tusk, where you all are.
Are you sure you're safe on the road by yourself?
This is you chose to start your journey almost at the brink of night, friend.
I I did. But I just had to make sure that all my nieces and nephews are okay. They run the Millstone Inn up there. They run it all by themselves after their mama and papa died under mysterious circumstances about 15 years ago.
I'll shoot some
Um,
telepathic messages into their heads and be like, so what I'm hearing is we help this asshole and we get free room and board when we get there.
meh. Free room's a free room.
John's just gonna like, can you not be in my head, please?
Oh, grow up, Chauncey. Oh, sir, well, that is, I'm sure you're so worried about your kin. Would you like to ride with us? We're heading to Serenity Rock ourselves.
well, I certainly wouldn't say no. Um, got any room in the back? I'm not that big of a man.
Yeah, hustle along now.
All right, and he climbs on into the back of your uh covered wagon.
Chauncey's out of the wagon, just like shoveling this pelt into his bag of holding. He's like, in part of his mind, he's like, I really let the intrusive thoughts win on this one.
Yeah, you kind of did.
Wow. Yeah.
My fiery eyes like pierce my illusion for a second, and I'm just like, Chauncey, get it together, and then I'm gonna get back on the cart.
Oh my God.
It's
Yep.
probably about, just from the length away that the town is, probably about another 45-minute ride at the speed that you're going. Um, However, no more than 5 minutes into the ride, you see and hear an explosion. Something in a field far away explodes, and there is a shockwave that rushes. You watch as the wheat kind of
Can I history check the explosion? I know it sounds weird, but I spent a giant chunk of my learning years in a what effectively was a giant explosives factory. Can I
Yes,
determine
you may
the type of
history check
explosion?
the explosion.
Jed goes, "Well, shit." that's that's my contribution to the explosion.
That is a 16.
That's good old regular dynamite. Probably a ton, 1 ton of dynamite that just went off
That's
In a
it's just
silo, you
a
said, or
in a field somewhere. You don't
in
know
a
what
field?
blew up. The town is kind of in the way.
someone
That
just
thing
blew.
happen often around here or what, old man?
I wasn't expecting an explosion to happen. It's not like we have any high grade weapons or anything. We don't
Somebody's
even mine.
somebody's got high grade weapons around here. That sounds like uh, did you say it was like a ton of dynamite or something?
Yeah, 1 ton, like a measurement of about 1 ton.
It 1.37 tons of dynamite, 1.34, something around there.
Mm.
Well,
Uh,
it's a good thing we have an explosives expert. Maybe we can figure out who did it.
that's actually what I was just going to ask. Are we going towards it or?
Unfortunately, we are going towards it.
Oh, fantastic.
It
All
sounds like it might have been one of the windmills.
right. Well, I guess fucking gaily forward then.
Right.
So you ride on for the other 40 minutes, possibly in complete silence as you all,
Like
wait.
looking out for, I don't know, whatever.
And
Yeah,
Chauncey's got his gun is up, just kind of something blew up that giant amount of dynamite. And there's ghosts and all this other shit about.
yeah. So as you all get close to town, you can see a lot of people are kind of out and about. They're all staring off into the field. Um, and you see a small child just running through the streets. It was Mr. Jenkins' windmill. That's what blown up. And everyone starts murmuring and murmuring until you see a centaur as you kind of get into the square. You do see a very lovely looking inn. Um, Sort of almost like a log cabin, sort of wood siding and actually a shingled roof, which is surprising. Most of the roofs are around here at least have been thatched to some degree. Um, and outside there seems to be five, wait, no, four. Sorry, I miscounted. Four. They look like half orcs, of varying heights that are kind of standing, staring out as you see a sign swinging in the breeze that says the Millstone Inn. Um, and you see a centaur and a woman with a cowboy hat on, but at her hip, she doesn't have a gun. She has a sword, a long sword, and a chest plate over the sort of cowboy uniform. She seems to have sort of cowboy boots and chaps and almost like a gingham shirt. But over top of it is a breastplate, like the kind that they use to defend against lances. It comes to kind of like a singular point in the middle where lances would bounce off of it. It's very clear that she is a knight of O. With her cowboy hat kind of pulled down, and you see a centaur also wearing a cowboy hat and a vest kind of rides in as the lady. Well, now settle down. We will launch an investigation in the morning. We did just check the site of the explosion. There is nothing to see. Please do not go near the explosion. We do not know if there is other explosives there. We will leave it for the night. If more things explode, that means there won't be any people near it. Stay in your homes. And the centaur just, you heard the lady, get back in. And the residents kind of shuffle their way back towards their homes. I don't really know why they have a Knight of O here. The man in the wagon says.
Not one of the usual postings. I take it.
No. Usually it's only our sheriff, Nikolai Ironhoof. That's the centaur there. It's only our sheriff that's around here. So if they have a Knight of O here, that means they think something's up.
Hmm. Fabulous. Well, if you want to, you know, get
Oh,
here. Yeah.
yeah, I do. My nieces and nephews are probably shaking up a little bit. Um,
Yep. 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 Yep.
so he hops out, and you hear him begin to converse with his nieces and nephews as they go in for a big hug. And it's very clear they very animatedly start talking about probably the explosion, what happened, and maybe some things as they all kind of go into the inn. Um,
Before we presumably follow them in, Chauncey's just like, are we doing that tonight or tomorrow?
Do we have to do it at all? We don't have to save every person we come across.
I mean, if you think about it, which I know might be difficult for you sometimes, um, the power of deduction, extreme explosions of dynamite, gunpowder, witches, Knight of O. I mean, it doesn't exactly sound like it's all coincidence.
Well then, Chauncey, I'll let you take the spearhead on this one tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna tip on out then. Guess it's like gets out of the cage. He's just gonna start walking to the. I don't know. What do we do with the horses? Tied them up somewhere? Stables? What do we got?
there is the inn that seems to have stables attached to it.
All right. Yeah. He'll just start attending to that. I have a decent animal handling, so just like start putting the horses away.
Yeah, as you're doing that, you do see one of the half orc runners of the inn come out, and she has curly hair that she's kind of pulled up into a ponytail, and she is wearing an apron, and she says, "Oh, how about I help with that?"
Sure. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm assuming you're staying at the inn.
It's planning to.
Great. Well, I'll make sure your horses are well fed and watered while you all get a good night's sleep. You've looks like you've probably been traveling quite a while, seeing all that dust on your horse's hooves. Um,
Bunch of dust on myself too. So if you don't mind.
right. Well, all right. Well, have a good evening. And she starts leading the horses. As you all go into the inn, you do see this man kind of leaned up against the counter as one of them is kind of has her hands folded over the counter. There is only one son in the group, the one nephew, and he seems to be dishing up bowls of soup for everyone. And the third girl is also kind of standing around, but she's beginning to clean some glasses that maybe after a dinner rush of some kind were dirty, and she's cleaning them as they're all talking. Um, and you all enter, and the man turns around and, well, speak of the devil. These fine gentlemen over here, allowed me to take a ride in their covered wagon over here, so I didn't have to walk that far, or else I would have been much, much later. Oh, well, that's just lovely, This is the woman who had her hands folded. I'm assuming you want to stay the night?
Well, that would be very much appreciated. And we are just so happy to come across your dear uncle. Oh, works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
they certainly do. Well, since you did us that favor, how about I give you 50% off the rooms? We get plenty from all the food that we serve long here, so don't worry about it hurting our wallets too much. Um, so it'll be 5 silver instead of 1 gold for all y'all. We only have 2 rooms, so you'll have to bunk with one another. But
Ugh.
it'll only be 5 silver.
I guess we'll
All
all
right.
fork our
Yeah.
money over.
Whoever's paying.
Yep.
And she hands over the 2 keys to the room. So who is rooming with who tonight?
Well, I imagine that Chauncey and Jed are
Adrien,
rooming together.
I've been meaning to chat with you a little bit. Come on this way, friend.
Oof.
Like, okay.
All right.
You and
So
me,
it's Jed and Adrian and Valakar and Chauncey. All right. So you all get your
banging
things
each
and
other's toenails.
I mean, that could be interesting.
so yeah, you all get into your rooms and you put your stuff down. And you hear the door to the inn open downstairs with quite a heavy crash and some loud talking, not yelling, not fighting, more of just loud talking. And you also hear hooves on the floor. You did notice that the door to the inn is a bit larger than other inns are. The ceilings are a bit higher, presumably to accommodate the centaur sheriff.
Hmm.
Um, so you can assume that the sheriff is downstairs at least, if not maybe the Knight of O. Um, but it seems they're getting some late night drinks and getting a bit rowdy downstairs as you all are in your bedrooms.
I mean, uh, we gonna check that out, or because it kind of seems like you might be spending another night getting to sleep. Yeah.
Uh, you had it. How much do you all share with each other? I'm curious, Valakar.
Mm, Sort of depends on the day. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't. But I don't see what the rest of them see, if that's what you mean.
Oh, that's great. Um, give me just. Did I really skin someone today? Oh God. Oh, I just need it. Just he's
Hey,
gonna splash some water on his face and just be like, "Okay, I can't. Well, let's go downstairs. This is fine."
yep. You got it, bud.
All right.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go check out the fucking drunk sheriff.
All right. So, yep, you head downstairs, and it looks like the sheriff has already drunk about 2 of the steins of some kind of beer, where the Knight of O, which surprising for being a church member, is halfway through her first, it seems, as they're just kind of chatting. And it seems that the chat has sort of died down a little bit as they're all just kind of clearly unwinding from the day's events.
Oh, what was? Is there something on my face? Like I got him. Like as he walks in, if it start like he said, it started to get quieter. I just like make a little joke. I don't know.
There's nothing on your face. It's just didn't really have anything else to say.
Well then, yeah, drinks. I guess.
All right, well, we only really have a beer here. We don't really have a lot of other stuff. We don't get a lot of stuff shipped in, so
Not picky.
and the lady at the bar starts filling up 2 steins. Well, there you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all get 1 pint on the house.
Oh, well, cheers. Might as well just
Indeed.
come in.
So
So,
where did you all travel from?
who's asking us this? Is it the
Yeah, I
knight?
was
Is it...
just gonna
The
say.
lady on the other side of the bar. The knight and the sheriff are still there, like kind of watching. They haven't moved. They kind of look over. Um, but yeah, it's the lady on at the bar, the barmaid that just poured you the drinks.
Traveling all over. Made her way up from fuck, I was gonna say Whitechapel. I was like, no, that's not right. Chapel.
Stag
Chapel.
Chapel.
Stag Chapel. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, that's not too far away. Did y'all encounter anything strange there in Stag Chapel?
Guess it depends on what you mean by strange.
Well, like, anything like spooky.
I
Uh,
mean, there was a haunted. Well, it was a sawmill,
Yeah,
right? What was it? It was a
it was
sawmill.
a
There was a
sawmill.
haunted sawmill and there's a ghost in it, but we beat it.
Oh.
yeah, that was a little intense. So yes, strange.
At this point, the Knight of O does speak up. Well, it seems things are getting a little bit farther afield than we were expecting.
What kind of shit happening here too?
Yeah. Bullsbrook over the way has been harassed by scarecrows. They've just been coming out of the field. No one knows where they're coming from. They're just every night a few of them show up and start scaring folks and trying to slash them up with scythes. Rag Trail, poor Rag Trail, they practically a new town, only been there maybe 50 years. Whole thing got burnt to the ground by the feasting pig. That thing ain't supposed to come for a few other years. And Pine Tree Knoll, strangest thing, flying monkeys.
Oh,
Just flying monkeys, and they somehow they managed to build a fort out there, and they've had weapons. Like swords and halberds and spears and things. Someone's supplying the flying monkeys with weapons and awaken spells. Those things can talk now.
fabulous.
So things are happening all over.
Nights spread a little thin.
Exactly.
Well, sounds like we'll have plenty to keep ourselves busy on the way then.
You have any idea what Chauncey's gonna look over tonight? The mill that blew up. Have you taken a look around there at all?
There were some bodies. There might have been someone in the windmill when it exploded. But other than that, not really anything that I'd want to talk about with a civilian.
I'm just gonna throw it out there that I Chauncey's just Taily Poe just kind of like crawls off of his shoulder and like across the counter, like real creepy, gross, jaunty, mechanical cat mode. I know a thing or two about explosions, dynamite and gunpowder, part of my training. I'd be more than happy to help take a look.
Well, at this point, we need all the help we can get. So, sure, we'll come by, we'll swing by, we'll get you in the morning, and
Well,
we'll take you out to the explosion site.
I'm sure that the priest we're traveling with will just love to see you.
Perhaps.
Hey,
Well,
well,
otherwise, you should probably finish your drink and unwind. I'm willing to buy you another round, especially since you're willing to help out with our investigation.
yeah. Valakar just laughs. Finish your drink. He's on like three.
He's just been slamming him back.
That's cute. Yeah.
I mean, the last time Chauncey got drunk, Lyla had to bathe him, so he's just gonna take it a little slow this time.
Mhm.
We're good. We have a decent constitution over here.
All right.
So yeah, I
So,
guess couple drinks before we head back up.
yeah. Yep. And so, is Jed doing anything with Adrien? I know we don't have Adrien's player here, but if there's anything that you'd like to do with Adrien.
Wow, Adrian, I had no idea you were such a complex individual with such a storied past. Well, good night.
Just make sure you wear a pair of iron underwear to bed.
Is he gonna fucking like suck the blood out of my dick? What?
He'll fucking try.
Uh, anyway, so you all managed to get yourselves to bed at remotely a timely fashion, ready to greet the new dawn. Um, However, who again has the highest passive perception? It's technically you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say at some point in the night, I'm not sure if this will wake everyone else up if you'd like to make perception checks for it. Um, you hear a horse neighing, and it makes the hairs on your neck stand on end.
Question. Uh oh no, okay, never mind. All right, never mind.
I will also say it
That
does
was
not sound anything like the were pony. The were pony was just a regular horse neigh,
nope.
because it's otherwise a regular horse. This one, it's strange. It seems almost what could maybe be described as ethereal. It echoes strangely. And then you hear it again as you hear a scream that is suddenly cut short.
Fuck. Chauncey. God damn, he just like slaps the bed.
Like Chauncey has been not sleeping well, so he's just like, "What?"
The fuck up. Some bullshit outside again. You don't hear that?
Oh, oh, why?
Yeah.
Ugh, this whole plate's cursed. What if
Yeah.
this whole plate and like he's gonna shoot up in bed real quick? And he's like, "What if this whole plate is cursed?"
Yeah, I guess we can figure that out after we figure out who the fuck's screaming so goddamn loud.
Well, he is not screaming anymore, whoever he was.
Well, right.
So yeah. Are you all heading downstairs?
I guess go wake up uh Adrien and Jed or Virgil or whomever.
Whoever he's disguised as the moment. Yeah, so you kind of open the door.
Just like you guys don't hear that shit.
Why are you always yelling? Why can't you just like I need you, you're up here, come down here.
Because every goddamn time I try to sleep, this and I'm kind of hoping for like an appropriately timed horse neigh, like
It does not come.
Right.
yeah.
This.
Okay. Well, give it a minute.
Still doesn't. There's nothing. You're just motioning in empty air, waiting for something to happen, like an actor that's missed their cue. Um,
Great. Okay. Well, anyway, it was just come downstairs. Okay. Why you gotta be a dick?
Yeah, okay. I'll be there in a sec.
so yeah, you all make your way downstairs. Um, the door to the inn is open, kind of swinging in the night breeze.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
And right behind you is one of I think it would be the barmaid, although you never learned her name. She's kind of coming down the stairs with curlers in her hair, like the old-timey, old-fashioned curlers in her hair as she kind of comes down and, what's going on?
Nobody else heard the scream.
I heard it. I also heard a horse.
Thank you. See, that's what I was talking about.
Well, let's check it out. We don't need someone lying hurt in front of our inn.
You should probably stay in here for your own sake.
All right, I'll clear a table in case someone needs some kind of medicine then. And she sets her candle down and starts clearing off a table. And I guess you all head outside.
Yeah.
It is very obviously strange. You see the man that you helped, who you still don't know the name of either, since you all didn't introduce yourselves, laying in the road. He looks like he's been trampled to death by a horse. However, it is very obvious there are no hoof tracks anywhere. This place is dusty as hell. You would have seen horse hooves.
Shit.
There
This-
is nothing. It's like he was trampled out of thin air.
Yeah. Kind of had a feeling that wasn't the last we were going to see of that guy.
Yeah, yeah. So, ghost horses?
Yeah, I'm kind of going with Ghost Horse.
All right, all right. Well, rest in peace. Whatever your name was.
Who's gonna tell his nieces and nephew he's dead?
Oh, yeah.
I'll go over and do a ritual gentle repose on him.
All right.
It's better than I was going to do. I was just going to scrape him up off the road. Which I guess we should still probably do, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
As
not doing that.
you see one of the half-orc women lean out. Are they all right?
Decidedly not.
I regret to inform you.
He's not in pain.
This
Your
isn't one
uncle-
of his nieces, right? This
It
is
is.
somebody else. It is? Okay.
It's his niece.
I make like a big show of doing the last part of my gentle repose ritual. Oh, and great. Oh, please take this weary soul into your loving embrace. Madam, I'm so sorry for your loss, but I think your uncle has passed on.
Uncle Miles.
Uncle
She
Miles.
comes out.
Good old Uncle Miles.
Uncle Miles.
Can I investigate Uncle Miles's corpse?
Yes, you may.
Guidance.
Oh, thank you.
This whole game is just us yelling guidance whenever anyone else does anything.
So with the guidance adding 3 to the check, and my investigation is already +9, that'll give me a 30.
30.
30. I'm not like trying to loot his body. I'm trying to investigate like, the nature of how he died.
And
Like-
how it was ghost horses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He was very clearly trampled to death. But you do see the only disturbance in the dirt is him hitting the ground. Additionally, as you kind of reach out and touch the hoof prints that have kind of crushed into his body, they're cold. His body is still warm, but there is a significant temperature drop where the hoof prints are.
I'm going to
Ghost
pull out like a
horses.
little recording device. And I'm like, subject's wounds are necrotically chilled. It's Chauncey's going full CSI mode.
I
Yeah.
told you it was ghost horses. It's gonna
Do
be
you
ghost
say that out
horses.
loud?
Yeah.
Okay. You watch as this woman looks, she goes, ghost horse?
Well, I mean, got a
If
bit.
the
Yeah.
if the horseshoe fits.
And she looks at the ground.
I'm going to let out just the longest sigh at if the horseshoe fits. Like,
She is very obviously not paying attention. If anyone like to make an insight check for any reason whatsoever, you certainly can.
Sure.
Yeah. Why
oh
not?
shit.
Do it,
Okay.
Chauncey, with your negative modifier.
Hey, fuck you. I got a 17. 18
All right.
minus 1, bitch.
Bam, 22.
Okay, still not as good as the bard. It's fine.
All right. The two of you that did make an insight check, she's alarmed. She's scared. And not just in a ooh, ghost horse kind of way. There's something else there. You watch as she literally drops the candle on the road, kind of stumbles a little bit before running back into the house or
Oh,
into the inn.
come on. What the fuck?
I think she knows more than she's letting on.
Oh, do you think?
Man, like imagine the biggest thing going on in your life is ghost horses. That's like the number one like. All right, I guess we're doing ghost horses. Come on, boys.
I mean, small towns, small problems. Not everybody can be whisked off to different planes of existence trying to free a fallen angel.
It's 2
Oh.
o'clock in the frickin' morning. If we could just.
Yeah, so as you all go back into the inn, I don't know if you take his body with you or just leave it outside.
No,
I'm not
totally
picking
just
it up.
left it near.
I'm gonna
Somebody
take it
else's
in with
grandpa or
us.
uncle.
I
You're gonna
did.
carry him?
Valacar doesn't give a shit. I mean,
Okay.
Chauncey and Lovey may just carry this corpse in and put it on the table.
This woman that was out there with you is clearly having some kind of a panic attack. And the other three siblings are kind of in shock, staring at you. The uh the son approaches you, the male approaches you and just, are you sure? Are you sure? Did you not see any tracks?
Not
and
01.
No. And if you look at the diameter of this hoof print embedded directly in his chest, and if you Chauncey's just gonna start like rambling on about the quality of the wounds.
So ghost horses. Something tells me you all might know something that you're not sharing.
Yeah.
So
Our real father, well, our biological father died when we were very young. And the man that married Mama, he said he had a curse.
yeah, there it is.
His family killed a wizard's horse, and he cursed the horse's ghost to hunt down everybody part of the bloodline and stomp them all to death in vengeance. And it'd come by each generation and stomp one of them to death until the bloodline was gone. He was the last one. He didn't have kids with my mama. And
he was, I'm guessing, stomped to death under mysterious circumstances.
he was.
That feels like a very inefficient curse to me.
Honestly,
How fast people breed?
Jed doesn't say that, but it was like, I was running the numbers there in my head too, and that did not add up. But far be it from me to question a ghost horse.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think this wizard needed to go back and do more algebra
right?
personally.
Like, I have 4 siblings. I don't know. Like, if one of us gets taken out, like, we got more.
I don't know. I guess the curse was very old, but Uncle Miles was related to my mama. He shouldn't have been a victim of the ghost horse.
Well,
I guess the ghost horse observes marriage as part of a family lineage.
or
one of you guys are on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah, there's. I was hoping to dance away from that conclusion.
I mean, who has time for flowery words and poetry? There's lives on the line here.
yeah,
Do these kids look fucked up at all? Like, am I looking at like a Charles Darwin bean plant right now?
No, you're not. You're looking at very obvious half-orcs.
Was Uncle Miles a half-orc?
No, Uncle Miles was a human.
Okay.
And Daddy was the orc.
Yeah, and he
They
runs
not know.
upstairs. It takes about 5 minutes. He comes back down with two very clearly like drawings and shows them. It's the same woman in both of them. Um, but one of them is an orc, and it seems they are literally all quadruplets.
Hmm.
They were all born at the same time to this human mom who had an orc father with an orc father. And then the second picture is them all when they're like clearly like 8 or 9 with this human man. That was who Mama married after our biological dad died.
Now, your uncle told us that your parents were dead. How did your mother die?
She died of a broken heart, or at least that's what all the doctors told us.
I don't know about the science behind that personally.
Hmm.
Well, I can tell you she wasn't stomped to death. She could have an open casket funeral, but she died shortly after.
Who did she die shortly after? Why was her heart broken? Did your stepfather die?
Yes,
How did he die?
he was stomped to death
Oh, I'm
by the
sorry.
ghost horse.
I forgot.
It was stepdaddy's curse.
Jed is like starting to legitimately have a hard time like keeping his composure with the story.
Ghost horse.
Like he was stomped to death. I'm just like, oh my god.
So the only Miles had to be somehow connected to your mama's second man.
He's my mama's brother. He's my uncle on my mother's side. He shouldn't be. And the curse said bloodline. None of us are
Well,
related by blood.
I
You think we can,
are you
good are
sure about
genetic
that?
testing?
I love how this is the investigation that we're doing.
It's just, I mean,
Can I take a sample of Uncle Miles's blood and a sample of the kid's
Do you
blood?
know how to run genetic tests?
Can I roll for genetics testing, please?
You're not even an alchemy artificer. You're
But my
a
mama
battlesmith.
is.
Oh my God. I mean, if you
Oh,
absolutely want to, you can totally get. I don't even know what genetics testing would have looked like in the Old West.
It
It
wouldn't
didn't. It
exist
didn't
in
look
the
like
old-
anything.
not at all. It didn't look like
I was
anything.
like,
It didn't exist until like 1970 or something.
It looked like that baby got red hair and you got red hair and that baby's yours.
Oh wait, I'm gonna look at Uncle Miles's face and compare it to the half orcs. Be like, how close? Is there anything? I don't know.
well, seeing as how Uncle Miles is biologically their uncle, they are going to look similar.
How similar to Uncle Miles does their stepdad look?
Not at all.
Oh shit. There goes my theory.
Well, there also is the next running problem of if this horse kills somebody once in a generation, we got what, like 30, 40, 50 years before this horse comes back?
Yes, but if it only kills one from each generation, then it already did that.
Yeah, it already killed his. Yeah.
Well, then the kids are next.
No, what I mean is that's two.
They already killed the stepdad. Why did they kill the uncle too? Two in one generation.
Yeah, that's the same generation.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also
Ghost
the
horse ain't
generation
following the
bloodline.
rules.
No, that's the problem here.
Boys, if you think about it, the ghost at the not the treadmill, the ghost at the
The
sawmill.
treadmill. The haunted gym.
The ghost at the sawmill. We talked to that Knight of O earlier. There's scarecrows attacking another town. There's flying monkeys at another town.
Okay, yeah, the undead are getting weird right now.
There's
Oh,
what's the
what?
pig's name above game? What was that pig called?
It's the
The
feasting pig. I will
feasting.
say
Okay.
you all will have at least to some degree heard of the feasting pig. It's kind of a cultural touchstone, kind of
Is he
like
like Santa Claus?
Paul Bunyan. No, that's Discworld. Um, that's Terry Pratchett, different universe. You would know the feasting pig is a very, very large boar that is covered in, instead of the spines and bristles that grow out of boars usually, it's forks and knives, and it breathes fire.
Aw. Aw.
And the feasting pig raised a town. Honestly, I've always wanted to try getting a few forks and knives off the feasting pig's hide just to see what are they made of? What
I
could
always
they
thought he was
be?
kind of cute.
Okay. So what? These fucking witches are.
I think the gunpowder witches have they're I don't know, escalating the natural disasters and unnatural
Right.
supernatural bullshit on this plate. We saw them fly
Well,
overhead right before the sawmill went hyperactive.
well,
So
in
where the
terms
fuck
of
do we
solving
find
the
this horse?
ghost horse problem, the only thing I can think of is checking out the windmill. But
At this point, you do hear a voice behind you. I'm sorry, did you say ghost horse?
Jesus.
As the Knight of O comes in. I heard a commotion. I came as quickly as possible. She's very clearly like in a nightgown, but she has
Yeah.
her chest plate on, and her sword.
Love it.
Uh, Ghost horse.
Ghost
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah, Uncle
Um,
Uncle Miles got he's
just
been trampled
gesture
by
at
a
the
ghost horse.
corpse on the table.
Oh dear. Oh, I
Yes.
thought this was already bad enough with the windmill exploding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, ghost horses are targeting this here family because of an old curse, apparently.
Oh, great. Well, that fits the MO of these fucking gunpowder witches. I don't know how they do it. They seem to be meddling with magic that ain't theirs. So,
Um, so now what? How do we stop this damn horse?
no clue. Ask a
Awesome.
wizard.
Don't we have one of those?
Well, it's not a
Yes.
very good wizard.
To
Only
Adrien
Mary
from the
Vaughn was
corner.
here.
Hey! He's been quiet this whole time.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, yeah, I don't know. Does
Could I Arcana
you want to
check?
make an Arcana check or
Yeah,
something? Yeah.
I'll make an Arcana check. I'm as good at Arcana, if not better than the wizard is, so
Yep.
true.
Do it.
Somebody else has to guidance Chauncey because I'm mad at him.
can someone give me the help action? Because my D20 rolls suck.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have the help action. I don't know how I'll help you with an Arcana check, but
That's so much that, trust me, you just increased my roll by 12 points with the help action.
there we go.
All right. So, what exactly were you checking?
I'm trying to think. So I spent the entire previous night studying the cursed axe. And I'm just trying to think about how the possibilities. I may not be a full arcane caster, like half of the fucking or three quarter. Everyone else in the party actually is full arcane casters, whatever. But I've been around magic my entire fucking life and studied it. And to do artifice, you need to know arcana. It's just a little bit more involved than other people's forms of magic. So I'm just trying to figure out how possibly these witches are fiddling and fuddling. If we can chalk it up to maybe it's a ritual. Is it just, are they actually tapping into something from the gunpowder god to do it? Something like that. Potential ways that you can like throw a proverbial monkey wrench into other people's spells to get them to be nastier, or ancient curses or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, it is certainly possible. It sounds like since they are specifically gunpowder witches, they might be close to more of like a warlock, where their powers come from the gunpowder god. It's just they don't come in the form of a priest, more in the form of a warlock that might have different powers. It's still kind of a little bit unclear what exactly they can and
So
cannot
still a
do.
magical sugar daddy. This one's just edgier.
Yes, basically.
I
Um,
got a 25 on
okay, yeah.
check.
Um, it is also possible that there are ways to amplify magic. That's what happens when a wild magic surge happens from a wild magic sorcerer. They could be fiddling with the weave itself, pumping more magical energy into the weave or pulling things or causing something to happen. Spells have to connect to the weave. They don't separate from the weave once they're cast. They continually draw magic from it. So it is possible that they are just basically doing the equivalent of nuking the weave and seeing what happens.
Oh,
Um,
so Chauncey's gonna like be like, well, obviously he kind of goes off for a second mentally and looks like that the woman doing math meme
Mm-hmm.
yes.
in his head, multiple equations. He's like, I suppose, I mean, they'd be foolhardy to do it, but they could just be attacking the weave directly around the area to see what happens.
Okay. Um,
So, well, we've already known we're coming after these witches, so I guess we just gotta kill them.
So you've heard of the witches then.
yeah. Stirred up some shit back in Stag Chapel.
Well, that confirms my suspicions. How much do you know about them?
We know they suck.
Well, there's that, but how much more?
Cultists to the gunpowder god who are drawing power from straight chaos. Seems to be about as much as I thought we needed to know.
Well, I think, yeah. We've been trying to hunt them down for quite a while now. We know that they have a coven nested somewhere in Bad Tusk. That's about as much as we know about where they're located. They are very good at hiding their identities. Um, we did manage to catch some people that were attempting to become gunpowder witches. They had dealings with them, either attempting to become a more aligning with them. They didn't give up the location, but they did give up how a gunpowder witch is made. Apparently, they have quite a profane ritual they perform in which they conjure a familiar, like a fine familiar spell, and then they eat it alive. This, I guess, is some sort of form of allegiance to the gunpowder god. It gives them animal powers. I fought one that could conjure crows a while ago. All three of them, in fact, could conjure crows. Sliced up my group real good, and they managed to get away. They seem to have a variety of powers. I've heard of ones that might have had owl-like powers, bat-like powers, dog powers, cat powers, frog powers. It seems whatever familiar they decide to summon and eat determines what powers they actually have.
Love hearing that they're recruiting. It's freaking primo.
And if they're meddling this much, there has to be more than just a handful of them. There has to be quite a few of them. A
Are
good
they?
enough population of them.
What did you do to these would-be gunpowder witches?
Unfortunately, because of the chaotic nature that the gunpowder god tends to instill in his willing or unwilling followers, we ended up having to execute them as they tried to kill people multiple times and managed to slip containment multiple times to kill. Um,
Lovely.
you do not want to know how much damage one of them can do with a single fork. So,
I kind of do.
Yeah.
That was
Man,
pretty
but now
funny.
that you just mention it, like,
I like to think that like artificers are on edge and on guard because like gunpowder and like, oh hey, we might be the reason this thing exists in the first place. So Chauncey's just like no comment on them dying. He's like, that's what I would have done. One of the only things he'll ever agree with the church on.
Mm.
Well,
Oh,
seems like our goals are aligned then.
Indeed,
yeah.
they are.
Guess good luck with the whole ghost horse bullshit. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do about that.
Well, I mean, we can at least check the windmill in the morning, but some of us need our beauty sleep.
Well, we will take y'all to the explosion site, and hopefully you can find something, if anything, that we missed. Um,
All right. Well,
I hope y'all have a good night, and I am sorry for your loss. I will say a few prayers to O for you.
mm.
And you notice she doesn't have a sheath, and she almost tries to sheath her sword, and she nearly drops it as she flips it the right way around and marches off into the night.
I'm just gonna lean to Valakar and be like, she's not very good at that, is she?
No. Just bode well.
If I could go just one more night without having some sort of equine anomaly bother me, that would be just fantastic.
That'd be pretty fucking great. Yeah. Well, if we want to give this another go, I'm gonna.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
All right. See you
Adrien, why
all.
don't you finish telling me that this dazzling tale that you were recounting earlier? Fascinating.
Chauncey's not gonna go upstairs. He's gonna go to the kitchen and he's gonna make these grieving siblings just something simple.
You have never been so interesting, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say if it's something simple, I'm just gonna let you have this.
Well,
Um,
I'd like to make the check just to see how good I can make something hearty and
okay.
simple for them.
Okay.
Because don't forget, I get plus 13 on cooking checks.
True. Very true.
28.
Good Lord. Um,
Looking like
and
Ragu.
yeah, you make a very delicious and hearty beef stew. Um, and the siblings do very much enjoy it. They're, of course, a bit quiet, as of course most of them are in tears. But it does seem to help quite a lot as they get ready for bed. And even though it's a tablecloth, they do wrap up Uncle Miles, as they called him, in the tablecloth. And you watch as one of the siblings gets out a bunch of shovels and kind of just lays them next to the body and just, we'll get to that in the morning. We should probably get some sleep. And they
I
all head
really am sorry
upstairs.
for your loss. And my friends, they sometimes I think certain social graces go over their heads. So thank you for letting us stay despite the situation.
Of course.
So probably like an hour after Valakar gets back to bed, Chauncey's gonna climb up into bed too.
All right. And you all, thankfully, get some sleep. You finish out your long rest, even though mechanically that doesn't work that way. I'm going to say that you finish out your long rest and you wake up at a relatively normal time since you all were basically sleeping beforehand. As you all wake up and come downstairs, you do see the Knight of O leaning against the table as she's finishing up just like a plate of some kind of breakfast oatmeal of some kind and kind of shoves it across the table. Well, get your breakfast. I'm going to take you to the explosion site after you're finished.
Good morning to you too.
You know, I don't think I introduced myself. A lot of chaos happened last night. Um, I'm Luann Cotswold. Nice to meet you.
This is the O night.
Yes, the
Yes,
Knight of
no.
O. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
It is a pleasure, Miss Luann. I'm Reverend Virgil Buchanan.
It is lovely to meet you as well.
And I'm fucking tired, but I guess we can make our way there.
I do. Chauncey's just like kind of thinking for a second. He's like, if we really do want, well, he's gonna pause for a second, be like, do we really? But whatever. If I had a liquid breakfast, I might be able to investigate a little better.
Is Chauncey going through a juicing phase? What?
I- What are we doing
I'm sorry, liquid breakfast? Like you want some beer?
Oh, based on my personal nature,
Oh,
my head might be a little less clouded because it has been a little bit since I last took a nip.
oh dear.
Well,
I'm picking
any
up what you're
volunteers
putting
want to get their
down.
blood drunk?
Uh, I will pass on that. I will be waiting outside.
Ah, shoot.
Ugh.
Looks like no one's biting, Chauncey. And I'm gonna walk out.
Yeah. Don't look at me like that.
I mean, just saying.
Listen, they're above game. There are plenty of other personalities that may have done that. Valakar's not the one. Like,
Maybe you and Adrien can just sort of like bite each other.
suck each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wait, does it work like that? Like, does
I
it
don't think
still
there's a
work?
restriction. It just has to be a creature that has blood.
Yeah. I don't think it works on undead or constructs, but like, how undead are we? That's the
Dhampir
question.
is not an undead. It's
It
a
isn't.
It's a humanoid.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can technically do Adrian.
I'm not going to. It's fine.
Okay. We're just noping out of that one.
No, no. He's a little bite happy. Chauncey's finally expressing, hey, it could be helpful for me to bite someone before we go over, but this,
I love that he's got a taste. It's like, no, not the other Dhampir.
no.
No,
I
not
mean, the
that
first thing
one.
that he bit in the campaign was a lava monster. That was fine.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the lizard
The lizard lava
creature.
guy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. The fire newt, I believe it was called, which did
Mhm.
have blood. I was surprised. But all right. So you all head out and over to the windmill, which is definitely exploded. It is completely leveled to the ground. There is a very large blast radius where clearly this thing was packed with explosives and then blown up. Um, it was also clear that this probably wasn't rigged correctly. As this was not any sort of like controlled detonation, like a mining operation, or even like just trying to carve out a mountain for a road or anything like that. This was just throw it in there, light it like a firework, and just watch as it explodes. Um, and yeah, the site is yours as she motions towards, well, this is all that's left. All that's left of the Mr. Jenkins
Hmm.
windmill.
Well, this certainly was a windmill.
Fonzie's just gonna flick those giant, weird, like optician goggles in front of his eyes as he
Oh
starts
yeah.
flicking different lenses back and forth.
I'll do. I'll say just because I'm a slow caster. I need to ritual cast things. I'll have a detect magic popped when we get here. Probably not going to be any magic, but it's my only contribution I can make to this.
All right.
See, I don't know. Can I intimidate the investigation site? No. Um, yeah, I don't know. Somebody can have a help action. He doesn't really have great
I'll take the help
information or
action.
something.
All
Yeah.
right.
You
Yeah,
know
because
what?
Valakar, you can probably just like lift rubble since there's a lot of rubble everywhere.
Yeah.
You lift while
Um,
I magnify.
mm-hmm. All
Did he
right.
get anything off his detect magic?
Jed, you do not get anything from detect magic. This was
Okay.
all done with mundane purposes, mundane means, sorry.
With the help action, I get 29.
29. All right. So investigating the rubble and investigating the way that it was packed, it was definitely all just shoved into the bottom floor of the windmill. The windmill was probably around 3 stories, but it was all packed into the bottom of it. The pieces that were closer to the top, like a lot of the windmill blades are actually still mostly intact, just kind of scattered very, very far afield. Um, a lot of big chunks of wall that would have been at the top of the windmill are still in place, but a lot of the stuff at the base, practically pebbles. However, there were still large enough chunks that when you moved them aside, you could find bodies. You find about 3 bodies in total. It was very clear they did not get far enough away from the explosion before it went off. You get the sense that these people were not very experienced with explosives. They practically just probably just did the thing that most people would think to do, light a stick of dynamite, throw it into the pile of dynamite, and then just start running, which is definitely not the thing to do. It's the most dangerous thing you could do. Um, they all look like farmers. However, they, of those that you can see the heads of, there is a symbol. It is a 12 pointed star, except it is only made of the vertical lines, and all the lines are at different lengths. If you'd like to make a religion check, you
I was gonna
certainly
say, can I
can.
religion check that? Can I guidance myself on the religion check?
Yes, you may.
19.
20.
All right. Both of you, this, while it is not a commonly used symbol, most of them just use their guns as symbols. This is the technical symbol of the gunpowder god. Most people just use guns or 2 crossed guns. But this is the actual religious symbol that people who were deep into this shit would be using. Um, whether magically or just ideologically. Um, one of the bodies does not have a head as the rock kind of smashed into it, but the other 2 of the 3 bodies both have this, so you can probably assume the third one had it. Um, but they're all marked with the symbol on their foreheads.
Does it seem like the mark is like part of a ritual, or is it just the witches being like, we were here?
It does look intentional. It looks like part of some kind of a ritual. Um, Probably some sort of scarification ritual. Their flesh was cut and then the wound was packed with something that caused when it healed over, it would heal over the stuff that was packed into the wound and leave a raised mark. It's part of how a lot of scarification rituals do work. Um, it was rumored the Church of O did scarification rituals at some point in the very, very, very far past, but they don't anymore. But the gunpowder god clearly encourages it, or the followers of the gunpowder god clearly use it to some extent. Um,
Fucking morons. Chauncey's just like, oh,
So what? These fucking idiots blew themselves up.
yeah, that's exactly what happened to Alakar. This from the emotion of this story is like, this is a symbol of the gunpowder god. And they just doing what they think he wants them to do, which is destroy everything and fuck shit up.
Including themselves.
No one ever accused these kind of people of being smart.
Uh-huh. Well, guess that solves that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, no answers for the ghost horse problem, but
It is kind of a case study in why worshiping really anything is just a bad idea.
I will not take that as an insult
Oh, I'm
for
sorry,
now.
Luann. I didn't see you there.
She's just been standing there the whole time, just about 30 feet back.
Yeah,
Also, the
worshiping deals with extraplanar beings, all of it. It's all bad news.
Well, friend, I think worship always has its value, especially for such a pure and lovely being such as O. And in your head, I'm going to speak to you and say, you're pushing your limits, Chauncey. If you keep pushing, you're going to lose this game that you and I are playing. I'm being very kind right now.
Wait, it mentally just like, what? I'm sorry. Have you read the dictionary definition of kindness?
oh, for sure.
As you all are very intently staring. Well, if there are no other investigations to be had, I think I can file my report.
Yeah, pretty open and shut on that one.
I figured, but if you all are hunting the gunpowder witches and you all are doing what it sounds like you're doing, might as
Hopefully,
well have an extra pair of eyes that know some things. Look it over just in case I miss something.
hopefully by the time we're done, ain't gonna be none of them left.
I feel like there's always going to be cultists of the gunpowder god left, but perhaps there will be significantly less. He is, after all, the only living god left. That might lend some allure, but regardless, I have reports to file. However, I would like you all to come and give at least some kind of a witness statement just to make sure it's all on the up and up and I don't sound like I'm making shit up.
Well, we can if it's quick. We got to get moving on to the next town.
Mm.
All right. Well, come on back then. And you all make your way back into town. It seems like this town is relatively operating normally. Aside from that explosion, there doesn't seem to be any sort of supernatural thing going on. Um, and she leads you into her little office that she kind of has in the sort of sheriff's jail sort of thing. She has this makeshift desk that she's moved out, a bunch of other things kind of set up as she sits down, and one by one she takes all your statements. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. And I will file that away. And unless something else happens, I might be moving on myself. I'm probably going to stay through the evening just in case something happens. But regardless,
Here's hoping. I've had about the max I can handle for this in one small area.
well, good luck to you all. Um, Wherever you may be going afterwards.
I do feel kind of bad for that family. Uh,
What really can we do for them?
I don't particularly know. We'd need to find some evidence of the person who cast the curse, probably.
Well,
That sounds like a whole.
best of luck. They probably should stop inbreeding.
Wow. Yep.
I mean, the rest of us were thinking it at one point. Of course, our good, great father or brother, is it brother or father above game? What is Virgil's title?
Oh,
Reverend, I don't
Reverend?
know. What are the rules of father versus? Because I think brother's only for if you are also part of the religious
Yeah.
faction.
Lyla has just been calling him preacher.
Yeah,
Preacher,
works.
preacher. You know,
Preacher, yep.
our preacher Buchanan speaks the words of O sometimes. The rest of us are just thinking, right?
Sometimes it seems like you hardly do that at all. Now, where's our carriage?
As you all are walking towards the inn down the road, you see a few people standing in the road looking up at the sky.
Oh, what now?
As you all look up, you see flying monkeys,
Oh my god.
a flock of them that
They
begin to
come towards
fly
us.
and circle overhead. And they begin tossing something out of a bag. Raining down are envelopes.
Are they throwing shit?
They're not throwing shit. They're throwing envelopes. They're regular paper envelopes with a wax seal on them, but they just seem to be raining down.
I'm gonna have Talipo snatch one out of the air and fly it down to me.
Yep, as these other envelopes begin hitting the ground, it's a solid maybe minute and a half of this before the monkeys all fly off as people begin to pick up these envelopes. And yet you tear the envelope open. It is very clearly some sort of reproduced image. It's not handwritten, it's reproduced. You can kind of see where the ink has been rolled over the plate that they've used. But it is in a sort of reddish gold ink. And it says, General Gozo formally challenges one champion of this town to single combat, survival or surrender.
You know, these flying monkeys have advanced quite a long way from being awakened if they already have discovered the printing press.
And that is going to be where we end this week's episode. So join us next week as we figure out what the hell is going on, because a lot of things are all happening all at once, and I love it. So join us next week, and I will see the rest of you all in about 5 minutes.